Hi, John here. It's Saturday the 28th of March 2015. Just a little catch up with what's happening here with 161 Cook Street. It's the second time I've been on the land block yesterday, and I am reporting to the Auckland Central Police Station of my every move. Just in case there is some new information that I have to report. And so I went in yesterday to the police station in the afternoon just to report that we have surveyed the land and also identified the buildings, and we'll change the locks. I'll just read out the latest I dropped in there yesterday. Report before we always enter the property. We can go in and out of there freely now, and I videoed there in front of everybody, so they're not alarmed. And this is to the tenants there at the present time. That we have a change of circumstances now, legal change of ownership of the land. It's gone out of the LINZ title, has been removed now. You might not see it appear on the LINZ land information title before long, but it's still there. But that's no longer relevant for mortgages. The mortgage fraud has been removed by proclamation. And what I meant by that is the proclamation of William Cornwallis Simon came in 1840 from Britain with a British title and pre-sold these lands under the Manukau Land Company, corporate company from Glasgow, on behalf of the King William IV Admiralty, to get from the ship from Devonport and Westminster Parliament, from there to Devonport here, or in this case into the Manukau Harbour, because they had come from Australia. Judge John Rogan. Now, Judge John Rogan first put the land titles together in Australia as original native Aboriginal title. You'll see that on Facebook and YouTube. Now, I'm just identifying who I am as the original patent land owner. And this is what I was trying to tell Simon Brent Roundtree and James Pierce Brown, the registered land owners, only on a piece of paper, only a certificate. That's not the land. They're only using the land as a debt instrument in the banks. Okay, so there is bank fraud mortgage on the property with as far as the land transfer is concerned. And so I've gone and taken the land instruments off, all the instruments off our land, off the land, because I am the chief of the land, out of it, and put a fresh British original John Rogan title under the native Aborigine title 1875. Okay, so those titles stretched down from Auckland provincial area, or the province of Auckland, down to Hawke's Bay, down to Gisborne, Turanganui, and East Coast. Okay, so those locked contracts to Westminster and to Devonport, England, to sail on an Admiralty flag, this one here, that I've been showing you all the time, from Devonport to Devonport here as a title of a name of a land block. That's his King William's Royal Estate land in Devonport, Plymouth, England. So that's now the King of Hanover estate that I'm claiming here as our commercial lien levy contract, where the mortgage stems from. So why I've taken them off the land is because they've corrupted the mortgage titles and left the British title names of our names, the Wanoa and the Manukau and the Kawharu, original Kawharu, not the Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei Kawharu, because that's from down the South Island. That Kawharu was not a real Kawharu, okay? They've bodged up the titles here, and the Crown owns iwi Maori names and Crown property, okay? So I'm warning all the iwi Maori in this country, New Zealand, and all the Maori incorporation groups, that you're not to touch any King William Maui Crown documents of title. That's a title there to 1/61 Cook Street. That's just what's taken their property. This, all of that title of what you see in there, and the acts of King William Westminster government from 1830 to 1837 is in this book. We are still in a commercial lien mortgage contract to Westminster in the lower house of Parliament. So I'm going there. I should have been there now. I'm going there after I cleared the bank here with this flag. I'm going to raise this flag, the King William IV Declaration of Independence, Declaration of War, Commercial Trading Bank Mortgage Lien Levy flag of free passage through the world. I'm going to raise it in Westminster to save Britain. Now it certainly looks that way. They're having a bit of a problem in Westminster with Scotland. I won't go over that. I'm just sticking on to this title with the Maori and the incorporated. There are some Maori people here who have been practicing with this flag but got no real title. There is no other title other than the one straight from Britain through Rogan here, the first 1840 legal title that got the contract, not the other flags. This one got the contract of the bank. You can forget about the other Tainui one because that hasn't got a contract to Westminster government, okay, the Parliament, where I'm going with the flag. I'm going into there with the Maui King William Party. So I'm warning anyone who interferes or tampers like this Aaron Pascoe, Detective Senior Sergeant, Criminal Investigator Aaron Pascoe, tampered with this information. For over 6 years, the police tampered with this information, and it's cost them 1/61 Cook Street property and their whole business. As you can see, what I'm putting on there, it's locked in Scotland Yard, Metropolitan Police, for salvage of all that I stick online as evidence in fraud mortgages and also fraud land transfer of titles, instruments. They're only instruments that they're using. Okay, Te Turi Whenua 1993 Act, the Native Te Turi Whenua 1993 Native Land Act, is a contract with this in Westminster Lower House. Okay, all I'm going to do is go into the Lower House with the Maui King William Party and put it into the Upper House, then stand there as the King of England. Okay, only the King can do this. Only the King can dismiss the Queen and her fraud outfit that's operating her corporate businesses under the Crown Corporation brand name. Okay, that includes Maori iwi. You're going to get the bill the same way as this Cook Street. Everyone who's got the Queen's head on their documents going to get the bill. Why? Is it because they are fraudulent with their law? Okay, I'm into law. Me and Robert Wanoa, I didn't know he was doing all of this too. Okay, so there was two of us doing exactly the same thing. Only recently have he done his. He hasn't gone as deep as I have with being on the maraes and getting the authority. All of this has got the signatures of the chiefs from the ones that are dead, when I say I'm doing this, the chief's land, all these chiefs are dead. And I'm still here for them, okay? And the ones learning what to do includes everybody, not just Maori. So I'm saying this. When the people, when you hear this phrase that Maori weren't here, the Scots were here before Maori, they're correct. Because Maori and iwi only started in 1945, the war, okay? That's where they created the Maori Land Courts titles and started carving the land up and selling it off. Well, all of that is going to end up like that one big fraud title, okay? And now we've got past this stage of proclaiming it, because that's what William Cornwallis Simons did when he came here and stepped off his boat at Pupunga in the Manukau Harbour on the Manukau tribesman's pa land. Pupunga is the bottom of Huia at Cornwallis, the Manukau heads. Now, that was the very first legal title to Westminster. This one. That's why we got the court, High Court of Admiralty here in London, okay, to this title. Okay, you can't get around it. That's the only one they'll look at. Okay, can forget about every other thing. And anyone, I've heard that there are some people, or some, one or two persons, who are trying to delve into who is the signatory to the Intuition Limited Company and the Treasury, the Queen Victoria Treasury. Okay, that's my business. Okay, no one is to go near those documents. If they discover them from somewhere, you'll get one of these hung on your head. Okay, you'll face the Hanging and Chains Act in this King William warrant. This is a King's Bench warrant, property arrest warrant. It'll arrest anything that's property, including your body. That's how they do it. They'll take your body. They're selling your body and your name, your surname, in capital letters. Okay, so that's all what this is. All we're doing is reversing the capitals and putting it back into no mortgages anymore. Okay, I'll just make a statement here. There are no mortgages in King William the Fourth Moai Crown titles. Okay, you can't go and borrow money on that title because it's now a complete state of emergency cordon around that block of land, and it is now a complete sovereign state on its own, with its own British title. Okay, so that's like the City of London, private company. Washington DC, private company. Vatican City, private company. Moai King William Trust, private company. And you can't tamper with private contracts, which is what the police did here with this one. And others, the government, the council, Auckland City Council, the iwis, Maoris, they tampered over the 6 years, 3 months period with me and Mohi Manukau was alive. We're going through this. We're going to the meetings. They wouldn't come to our meetings. This is Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei, Grant Hawke, and Tiwana Tebel, and Blair, Ngarumu Blair. You see the names? You see the surnames? It doesn't stack up to the real owners. They're saying they're the owners. The trust is the owners. The surnames are not indigenous, as Manukau, Kawharu, and Wanoa. The three names that's supposed to be on that land block. That's why we got it back, because they're only occupying our land to the original native landowners. Okay? So, one more time, to any incorporations, because you're going under Te Turi Whenua Act, that's one thing. That's a contract. But you haven't got the link on the other end, in London, and it's ineffective as a real contract. You're only dealing with the government of Wellington, which is a government. This government is its own government on 1/61 Cook Street as a British dual Moai Crown, King William, Westminster and Devonport government. Okay? We've got a dual arrangement to self-govern ourselves under this jurisdiction. of Admiralty, and Lord High Admiral. That's my title of surrogate King of England. And this Lord High Admiral. That's the highest you can ever go with the license. Okay? The license to print money. The license to mint coins in King William's name under this flag of declaration and proclamation over this land. So really I proclaim the land just the same as the surrogate captain William Cornwallis Simon did when he came here with a boatload of British people, and they settled on our land. In fact, they had prepaid for land they didn't identify the real owners. They took the Ngāpuhi, the Tuhaere, Tinana, and Kawau, Te Kawau, and Tamaki as being the original owners. They're the LINZ Australia title of, they put those chiefs there, but they are not Manukau's, because the British have got a Manukau birth certificates, and they sold the Manukau land from England, from Glasgow, sorry, under the British title. So the Scottish titles are here, and the Australian titles are the LINZ titles we just removed off because they weren't here before us. You see what I mean? I'm just making myself clear on who owns the land of New Zealand. Not the Queen, because you're on the LINZ side, the crooked side, that we build £1 trillion a day plus 20% tax. Okay? That's my way of putting it as the real landlord here, with all the information that not even Ngāti Whātua can string together, 2 pieces of stone, nor Tainui, because they're on the Australian titles that are causing all the ruckus in poor people and all the fraudulent things going on in the Parliament. They're going to get caught. They're actually going to get wrapped over the knuckles with that and lose everything. Okay? So, one more time. This video is directed to those people who are playing around with these. If you are found to be tampering with the Queen Victoria Trust, because that belongs to that. It doesn't belong to anybody else but a true native with the right surnames. There are a few around, but we're standing there talking for the real, not Maoris, not Maoris. You can forget about that name, forget about the Maori Land Court, forget about everything Maori, because that's the Crown side, the LINZ Australian title. We're talking about the British title and the original surnames, not the podgy names like Paraoni. That's Brown. You see, you've got to watch the wicked iffy. That's Wycliffe. See what happens when you start playing around with names? It's hidden inside it, but we only go under the male title, not the male bloodline, royal inheritance, accession, descendant and the bloodline, monarchy sovereign, in the King William titles, and the Tahitian, Wanoa, Moai, crown royal families goes down the male line. Okay, the British and DNA succession go down the male line. The Queen only just recently changed it to female. That's her side. That's the LINZ Australian titles. This is the King's Stays male line in Devonport, England. So Westminster has now gone on the female side, and it's controlled by the Queen in EU Parliament. What's she doing over there when she should be in England? She doesn't care about England or anybody. She only cares about her bank balance, which is, this is going to seize it. Okay? Back into the King. And she's left the monarch open slather in England. Okay? So England, I'm talking about England now, not Britain. I'm talking about England, because Scotland's going back to Scotland. And Ireland already went back to Ireland. So you got England and Wales. So that means I'm Rogan here. Rogan, Judge, England, bloodline. So I'm going to England as England. and native here as native Wanoa and Pacific Islands title. The patent title is here for native Maui statue standing in London is the title memorial. Okay, the Queen put him there. 1868, Queen Victoria stole my Maui. It's not a prized possession. She stole it and put it there under the King William Admiralty Act, going from one place to the other. Okay, she didn't have any admirals of her own. She borrowed her uncle's. Okay, and I'm his inheritance partner in commerce. I'm the King of Commerce with King William. She doesn't have a commerce contract. No, she doesn't. They're just making their own ones up. And the Queen. So, one more time, again. I know who is tampering with the Queen Victoria Trust. When I identify who it is, you're going to lose everything and you'll get locked up. Anybody tampering with this, you can get hung. You'll get hung if you're found to be tampering. This is Maori over here, and people who are trying to be Maori and make their own titles up and license and everything. That's only on the ground here. You won't get off the ground anywhere if you're found to be by yourself. I'm with chiefs collectively, okay, through the whole indigenous world. Not just here, through the whole 250 countries in the world. That's what that is, and their flag. 250 countries in the world. Not someone who's looking after their own pocket. Here, this is not for me. This is for the whole people of the world, okay? So, I just want to read this out of the instructions yesterday, or the new information. That's what the police manager asked for. Tony Gillen Hayes. I've known him for years, since the first time I delved into property and Crown corporate stuff. Right, this is the latest I dropped in to Alex at the police station. They're quite familiar with me now, and I don't carry any cameras to film them in the nose. So I'm just going in there, recording, but not the camera poking around the place. I don't want to do that anymore. Don't have to do that anymore. I only go there to report what I'm going to do next. So this is how it is. 1. I arrested the property successfully at 161 Cook Street without incident, 3:30 p.m. 26th of March 2015. That's the first thing. I've reported new developments, okay, and circumstantial evidence and substantial information that the police already have got everything on that title, land block. Okay, 2. I visited the landowners, James Brown, and served notice of invoice, the second one, of occupying the land, occupation under a trespass order. So I'd already given him a trespass order, and he's trespassing with his tenants on the block of land after I told him to shift off on the 12th of March 2015. He's billed 2.715,800 billion a day. Okay, that's not my problem. I've worked out the stats of what it was worth and who's involved in the fraud. Okay, there's many people in the Crown Corporation of the Queen side in this fraud, salvage of cargo and ship. I'm arresting their ship, which is the land, and the cargo, which is the assets that they have gained off using the land. Okay, and everybody else who's been covering them up and the fraud inside that block of land. 1 equals many. That's what I say about one block. Goes right through the world. Okay, that's a house of cards. Right. So he's had his second invoice. The police have had their second invoice of £1 trillion a day. They have to pay that through everyone who's had something to do with this one fraud piece of land. There's plenty of land to go yet, because there's another string of offences after that one. Okay? And those people know who's next. So, number 3, I videoed the land and had lunch and remained there in view of the public on the land over an hour with no complaints about us filming. That's on the Wednesday, 26th Wednesday, 26th, I think, Thursday, 26th, okay? And so, no incidents. Because the last time I went through the block on a push bike, I went through the block round and round, once around, and then out the gate, up the top of the corner on the road, on the corner, and filmed. The police screamed up the road, pulled me up, jumped out of the car, ran up to me and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm filming." He says, "Why are you filming?" I said, "Because that's my land." They said, "Well, how do you know it's your land?" "Because I just told you." And then they said, "Well, somebody complained." I said, "Who?" They wouldn't tell me, but I said, "So if someone complained about me riding through this public space, then what am I doing there? What was I doing there?" And they said, "Well, that's what we want to know." I said, "Well, I'm surveying my land because I'm taking it back." Well, they didn't believe me. Nobody ever believed me. They'll say, believe it when I see it. So that time has arrived. Those people interfered with my ship, and they damaged it really, really severely. I'm talking legalese here, and Admiralty talk about going from A to B on a ship, a plane, a boat, or a train, right? You're going in Admiralty, okay, of somebody's authority to do this and that, okay? So that's what I'm saying. They had no right to apprehend me and suspect me of running on a bike with nothing, just a bike and me. It just happened to be a MAORI, that's what. And so I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for a police to come screaming in, and for someone to get on their mobile phones and ring to say, "Oh, that boy's back here. That man filming is back here again." No. You know why? Because I've gone to the police first and started from that end. Right? Started from that end. And amazingly enough, it works. Right? Because I've got all my stuff in order, and whoever else hasn't got theirs in order, that's their problem. And that's why no police turned up. I'm only assuming, but no police turned up. Okay. 4. The circumstantial evidence reported today, that's on the 26th, is that the land has changed its ownership status from James Brown and Simon Roundtree to Maui Crown King William IV Trust. Okay? Private company. It's changed hands, and it's also gone into Ngā Atua e Wā Aotea Limited, which is a corporate company. The other one's a private company. This is a corporate company registered with the New Zealand Companies Office as being one corporate versus another corporate. Otherwise, you can't talk that language in their business. Okay? If I wasn't a corporate, they won't talk to you or won't have anything. They can't see you. Blind. They can see me because of that company. Limited company. Okay? Ngā Atua e Wā Aotea Limited company is a one-off a trillion share company in the 250 countries. 1 billion shares for each country. Okay? So that's how it works, and a pound note. Okay? So everything's in place with the flag. The flag allows us to go anywhere in the world. This flag. That's what I'm saying. It's a bank trading commercial lien mortgage flag of Admiralty and also military. It's got the British military is obligated to protect our business, okay, and also Scotland Yard, because they have an interest in what I do. Whatever I do and recover and salvage, they have a direct interest in it. The British government. It's not going to be the Westminster government until I'm in there. I'm in the Devonport King William's property estate on the King of Hanover, the Hanover estate in Devonport, Plymouth. All of that area I'll seize with this flag, the same as I'm doing here, and make it a sovereign state, just the same as the City of London. They've got a sovereign state of their own inside a sovereign country. Okay, the sovereignty of Britain is gone into the EU Parliament. Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales has now been sold on the stock market, the Washington DC stock market, and Washington DC owned by the Queen. That's her company and her country, illegally her country, that we're going to seize back to the people. Okay, so that's what MAORI is. is for the people. Okay. So what happened was number 4, the circumstantial circumstances. That's what the Tony Galden High says. I'm citing him on what he says. New information, circumstantial evidence, or under the circumstances of what's happening on the block. Okay, so I'm giving him the circumstances have changed titles as being one of them. Now, the other people, the owners, did not turn up when I left their office to tell them I'm going to see the property. All he said was this. I cite James, the leader of the 2 directors, and their Roundtree Trust, and the CityWorks Depot Limited company, which is the corporations of that block of land, which is removed now. He says to me, John, don't go on that land if you haven't got a police. So I said, I just come from there. I'm going on there because I've just come from there. Okay? They're there. They're coming with me in the way we set it up through the mobile phone. If there's any problem, they'll ring me. If I've got a problem, I'll ring them. You see? So they're there for me. And this title for the king. Okay? Not so much for me, but for the king. I'm doing the king's business. And my business. Okay? The king's business. Right. So the circumstances evidence reported today, because I got a report, is that the land has changed ownership from James Brown and Simon Roundtree to my Crown King William Trust, King William IV Trust, into a sovereign state of emergency battlefield in Admiralty legal terms. So I've set the scene. I've set the scene. I put a cordon around it, like what I've cited Aaron Pascoe, Detective Senior Sergeant Criminal Investigator Aaron Pascoe, for putting a cordon around Tuhoi in Ruatoki. He put a cordon around and put all the police around it. That's what I'm doing now. I just put a big cordon around it, as if there's a lot of police right around it. Right? A lot of police, British police, and Metropolitan Police in London, the Scotland Yard, all around sides. Okay? That's what this is. That's what that is. As if they are there. Now, I set a battlefield. When you put a state of emergency down, it becomes no man's land, but the British military. The British now can step onto that land, now that I've got it back in our title ownership, okay? They can step onto that land anytime as being a sovereign state of its own, okay? It's got its own autonomy, its own government, its own laws, okay? So the laws are in here. The Acts of King William is still fixed in statute law, extant for evermore in Westminster's lower house, okay? It's there with our flag, okay? So we are going back to 1830, Acts of Parliament, where it's got the most stringent laws that'll break your neck, and anybody who breaks this law, okay? It applies. It is active, live right now, on that block. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That's a court. It is a native court. It is a King William High Court of Admiralty of its own, and a Lord High Admiral authority. The highest authority in the world is right there. Okay, so in legal terms of reference, that's what I've set down here as going back to as if it's 1840, when Captain William Cornwallis Simon hopped off his ship as the captain and proclaimed, "This land belongs to the King of England. Long live the King." I'm just saying it in front of you to just put that back right to that point in time when he had his title, the one that's on Facebook there, of seizing all the LINZ titles. That's what they did. Seized all the LINZ titles and reissued them, right, as new titles. Okay. 5. I have a legal position and patent land ownership from the levy debtors invoice account on their corrupt corporate business. What I'm saying here is this. I have gave them a invoice for what the damages was. Okay, all the damages that they've caused, injuries to my ship and my cargo and my assets and my business and my person and my in-personam corporate capital name, my corporate capital business and my private business. They've damaged it severely. So that's what the cost of seizing the land is, to defray the costs of their offence and their crimes of their proceeds of crime. Okay, the Proceeds of Crime Act. I have those acts all on the warrant. Why we're taking the property? Because of those acts. So that's all my legal entry into the land is to seize it because of those issues of legal authority. 2. 6. I will now enter the land, or I have entered the land, and change the locks. So that's what I'm saying on yesterday, Friday, in the afternoon. Tony wasn't there, but he'll read this on Monday. He'll read this 6th one. This is intent to what I do next. I will now enter the land and change the locks and seize the business as well. So I'm seizing all the businesses hooked into the same fraud as Doug Rickard Bell, as accessories. Everyone on their block of land, unfortunately the landowner supposed to warn them. He may have. It's not our business to. Those are his financial interests, is the rent tenants. Okay, the rent tenants are not the real landlord. The chief rent, that's me, is the patent land owner. That's the owner of the land. Okay, in whichever way you define ownership of land. I'm saying in ownership of land is that we're the native land owners in the first place when the British came here into Manukau Harbour and proclaimed it belonged to the British when it belonged to us. Someone had sold the land. That wasn't the owner. That's what I'm saying. We are the true owners. So it goes back to square one there. I'll start again. 6. I will now enter the land. I have now already twice and made myself known. And enter the land and change the locks and seize the businesses as a requirement for tenants to leave or sign new agreement on British UK title, Sovereign Monarch King William IV, Surrogate King of England, Lord High Admiral. Okay, that's me. That's me. Okay, Lord High. And so I've got on the other side of the page, new information and circumstantial evidence for Tony Geldenhuis, Auckland Central Police Station. I have successfully arrested and reoccupied the land 161 Cook Street, Auckland, at 3 p.m. on the 26th of March 2015, entered the property and had lunch with my nephew, Robert Wanoa. He's well known to the police, and he's just as intelligent and up to the law as I am. So he's a private investigator and private prosecutor wrapped up in one, and a marshal. Okay, he can go around after this one and do the same thing again. But I don't have to teach him. He already knows. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm lucky to have him. Suddenly he appeared from nowhere. We entered the property, had lunch, and waited for an incident. We just left James Pierce Brown's registered office on 3/70 Shortland Street, Auckland, just before that, and told him we are arresting the property. Now, we actually told him we're going to arrest the property. And he said, don't go on the property without a police. I said, we just come from there to tell them we are seizing it, on a video and cited you on this video as saying, go to the police. So I did. I went on, I'm citing you, James Brown, on what you're saying. And what everybody's saying, I'm citing everything on what everybody says. Just what they're saying. And that's as far as I can go. I need to go, is what you're saying. Right? You said it's my land on the first video. It says, so you're the owner? I said, yes. See, so you admitted I'm the owner. And then you're saying to me, here, it's yours if the police are there with you. Well, they are, James. I just want to report on this video in front of the public, in front of the world, and the people in New Zealand, citizens, that the property now belongs to us, as it should be in the first place. And the benefit will go back to the people. Okay? And you've conceded by saying, if the police go with you, can't do that, can't do much. I can't really help. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you, is that you had no circumstantial evidence. That's the words I was trying to find. That the police, I'm quoting the police on that. Circumstantial evidence. Okay? Under the circumstances of what happens on that block, if there's a complaint, the police will know about it. So, James, you may have complained to the police verbally over the phone, but not written, because it has to stack up with what you're complaining about. And that's going to open a can of worms, because the police said, I'm assuming here, the police said to you, look, if it's good enough for us to stop John from complaining over the counter like he was going to write a complaint about you and about that land block. Well, I've talked him out of it. And he comes to me. You see, James, I'm communicating with the police so that they can learn what I do. And I'm only there for the whole people of the world to learn what I do. Why I video people. It's because if anything went wrong, James, it's my fault, not anybody else. I haven't committed anyone else to what I do, because they'll never be able to do it, okay? None of anybody will be able to do this anywhere in the world. The King's voice and his authority, none other, okay? No one's in the contract, only me and my chiefs, okay? So, I said, we just came back from the police and we are seizing it on this video and cited you on this video as saying go to the police. So that endeth your occupation on that land, but your tenants are still there. The moment I sign up new agreements with the tenants under a UK, British, Devonport, England, King William, King of Hanover, title, and King of England, as far as I'm concerned, Rogan. Okay? Not in Westminster, because we're going to transfer, when I get there, transfer those powers into Westminster to override EU Parliament and the Queen, and shut it down. Okay? Shut her business down, because it's ruining the whole world. You can see that on my 38 websites on Facebook, Twitter, Google, and YouTube. Okay? You can go and check it up there. I've thrown everything out there, because I don't want to carry this around with me. It's belongs to the people. Okay? What I do there belongs to the people. But I'm looking after the King's business. Okay? I'm looking after the King's business. Right. I'm back to report that no person, this was Friday, so that I did that first report to the police on Thursday, and then again on Friday. I reported yesterday this. I am back to report no person complained of our presence filming the complex as now our legal property ownership. The Maui Crown King William IV Trust. Okay? And Ngā Atua Ewa Aotea Limited, registered corporation, and Maui Crown, and also Moai Powerhouse Group, private company in London. Okay, and we've got other private companies as well, but those are the main ones. Those are the main economic, social development companies, the private ones, and this corporate company is for here, New Zealand Dana Tuewa Aotea Limited. Okay, so the other companies are split up into shares of the main parent company here in the registered office. Okay, so everything's above board. So that's all I wanted to tell you. And just this last time, to anyone who's tampering with the Queen Victoria Trust, because I'm going there to seize it. I'm going to seize the assets of Intuition New Zealand Limited Company. Okay, I'm going to investigate that company with Scotland Yard and the Treasury, the New Zealand Treasury here, and the Cabinet, and all their records, right back to 1840. Okay, I have the legal right under the King's orders of the bench. Okay, the bench, the King's bench. That's why no one will go near it, because that's the King's bench here. That's the King's bench in here, right at Devonport, England. There, that's his memorial. I'm putting the flag right there next to his memorial in Devonport, Plymouth, in England, and I take his title and his money here, his money, his pound notes, print them there, and the credit. That's the credit sign of the court to recover the money, and that's the seal. That's the seal of him on his horse and his Admiralty ship. Okay, that's King William IV, and this is the court. This is the court with the crown on it, Crown Court in High Court of Admiralty in London, and that's his British sovereignty flag of Admiralty that is going around the world. That's free passage through the world. And that's the Moais with his hat on his head, right, of higher intellect, the partner of King William here, okay, King William in his regalia. And that's basically what this title is all about. Apart from the whole line of seals and flags, you've got the Moai flag here with the pyramid on it, with the ancient black Nubians, the ones with the correct surname, not like Maoris here with the bodgy name. The Arabs and all those Sodis are white black people who boot them out because they are the ones causing all the war. You can see where the war is, the ones with the money. Follow the boat and follow the money, you'll find the fraudsters. And that's the Moai there with the higher intellect looking down to King William, okay, from above. From above, the spirit. Okay, Moai is the spirit. Okay, this is the one in London. This one, people. That's my Wanoa, native Tahitian inheritance, title to the Earth planet. They put him right there. That's my title to where he stands in London and England. Okay, so that's my title. My own Tahitian family Wanoas built these. Okay, built them, and they stand all over the world in the highest, powerful, most powerful countries in the world. The Moai standing there, as they call it, good luck. I call it my memorial to my ancestors. Okay, they've stolen my memorials of my family. Okay, and I want them all back. Okay, I want them all back, put back on East Island. Okay, that's spiritual. You should not touch somebody else's memorials. I won't pick up Winston Churchill's memorial and bring it to New Zealand. So why would you pick up my memorial out of the ground? He's buried deep, so it's stuck there. You shouldn't dig it out, right? Because that's our land. You've stolen our land and alienated our land. So, and then that's the two memorials of authority. I swear my authority, okay? I swear my oath of office, people. John Wanoa, John Kahaki Wanoa, Lord High Admiral, and Surrogate King William IV, King of England, okay? And King of Hanover. That's who I'm talking. I'm talking as if I'm the king. I'm mirroring him around me. So I swear my oath of office to King William IV and I swear my oath of office to Maui, God's grace, face of authority to his earth planet. Okay? Earth to earth. Right? Earth. This is made of earth to God's earth planet. Okay? That's, he's made a face. He said to my people, make a face for him. So they did, and made a face for our people as well. Okay, so that's the story of this title on Cook Street that you can't get around. There's no other better story. If you've got another better story, let's see it. When we put the courthouse up, and we're going to build that building, Robert Wanoa, he's a builder. He'll build that whole building under the plans that I put together. I'm going to design the building myself. And we'll have to tell those tenants that they can buy the space inside, or they've got the option of leaving. I'll give them a date to leave, and then Robert can take over there. And just remember, people, we're a separate sovereign state, another federal state government, because this country has no federal state government. They're trying to operate in the Supreme Court under the Queen, her new title, Queen Elizabeth II Great Court. Queen Elizabeth, Supreme Governor of the Church of England. She's not even a church person. She's gone around killing people and pedophiles and everything evil. And people can't see because they're fast asleep. But why would she go and run Westminster and kill Westminster and the British government from the EU Parliament? The answer is she's German. That's why. She's German, and she's got her King George the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th as her line of descent. They left out King William IV because he doesn't appear anywhere on the George line, but under William. So he's a George, he's King George the IV's brother, but they've left him out of their line of descent. Okay? So there's somebody after me now, and I think it's enough for this video. One more time. Those people who are tampering and playing around with Queen Victoria Trust to try and find who's the signatory to it, and when I find out, you're going to get one of these hung right over you. You'll be strung up and either booted out of this country or locked up for life. I'd warn you. Okay? Thank you very much. See you later. John Wanoa, Auckland, New Zealand, on Saturday, the 28th of March 2015. Bidding you good morning. Bye for now.